Yes, talk. Talk to them.
Hello, great people.
So
I'm here once again.
Where will I be connect?
Yeah. Sijui ongea sauti.
Salimia hapa.
Inafaa ni train bwana.
Iko live.
Yeah, hello. Once again, we are here. We are here. Want to talk to you. Um, Thank you so much for being there for us, and thank you for actually following us all the times and being there for us all the times, all the moments. For the returning subscribers, we say thank you to you so much. Keep on following us. Stay tuned. Be on toes. We're here because of you, and we are going to do all things an African way because that's our slogan and that's our way.
We are doing it African way.
Yeah, all the times, all the moments, bro.
What's up, my beautiful people? Yeah. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am the Kenyan Beast, of course. This is my first live, and yeah, we're here. So keep joining, share for. Tell me where you're watching from. If you're watching from Jamaica, Grenada, USA, Ghana, Ethiopia, Gambia. By the way, I have fans from Gambia.
For real.
There's some African countries they are very quiet. You don't know even if people are still there or
Yeah, sure.
But we are here, and this is the African way to go. And today we are talking about Africans country problems, the problems we are with African countries. Because somehow I feel like African countries, we have big problems. Like each time we want to raise our feet, there's something that video, we don't know if the quality. Yeah.
Sharing the parts of Africa.
Because so they knew
who which part and who take which part. That was all about the conference. Yeah.
They knew the what we have in Africa. They knew, the importance of Africa.
Yeah, sure. They like when those things were happening, it really gave us the knowledge and the understanding that these people had studied a lot about Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They knew which parts of Africa are very important. Like they knew which parts is more of a let's talk about the what do we call the golds and the like which parts have a which like you understand?
Yeah.
Because there are some parts in Africa that were very useful and important where you can mine petrol, you can mine gold, you can mine all those things, you see.
Welcome to our live. Welcome to my first live. We haven't yet started. We were just rehearsing how we're gonna start it, but we're gonna talk about African problems. Yeah. What do you think is what's the main problem of Africa? Because from the day one, we had Africans. These countries, the white countries like Germany, Portuguese, British, France, they all came to Africa and. They were scrambling for Africa. Each of them wanted a part in Africa. That was in a Berlin conference. People sat down. The Muzungu they sat down in a table and they decided to share Africa. You will take South. You will take Congo. You will take Kenya. You will take Somalia. I don't know why they didn't take Ethiopia. I hear stories about Ethiopia.
I've also been asking myself the same question.
But you studies about why they did not colonize Ethiopia.
But they had all powers to do that.
Why did they not colonize Ethiopia? But the main issue is, since we had slavery, then we came to colonization period, then now we are in neo-colonization.
Yeah, sure.
So we're still living under
the colonization.
Now new colony. That's a neo-colonization.
Sure.
but
being colonized indirectly.
yeah, but that we as Africans every day we are fighting for better Africa, but the more we are fighting for better Africa, the more we are failing. The more a country is fighting for better country in Africa, the more we are failing. So I don't know what is the problem with African countries. It has reached a point where like some it has reached a point where even Africans themselves, Kenyans, Ugandans, Rwandans, and everybody, they don't want to be Africa. They are moving away for the search of greener pasture in the Muzungu land, not knowing that we have green pasture here in Kenya or in Africa. Africa is so green, so people are running away. I saw my friends. There's a time like 2 months ago. There's sometimes USA give free. I don't know. You win a green card. Everyone was going for the green card. Everyone wanted to have a green card to move away from Kenya and go. So as a young African, you know, as a young man, I'm determined to see the growth of Africa. I'm determined to see how our grandchildren or my children gonna live here without depending on going to look for greener pasture. So, but now this topic of today, I'm just asking ourselves, what is the problem?
And you know, when we talk about maybe Africans leaving their countries, and flying abroad for greener pastures, in another way, they're right. And in another way, they are not right. So they are right according to the circumstances and according to the situations that are current situations. They are not right because of lack of knowledge. Because if they had knowledge, they wouldn't be actually evacuating the country.
They have knowledge. They have papers.
You know, that's not the problem. The problem is that Africans, a lot of Africans. Okay, it's not about the knowledge, the knowledge like we get in schools or something of the sort. You know, like they would know what they're leaving behind. They wouldn't have gone. That's the knowledge that I'm talking about. But because they don't know what they're leaving behind, that is why they keep on going and going. Because all the years, all the times we see them going, trying to secure jobs in the US, in Germany, and those countries.
Have you ever thought of going to the US or leaving Africa?
Personally, to some point, I've never thought of doing so.
Why? What
the reason is that when you get a job in the US or when you get a job outside Africa, maybe most of Africans from especially from these are our countries. Most of Africans are going to Saudi Arabia, some are going to Qatar, for jobs. And it's true, there are jobs there. When they get there, they get jobs. They are paid well. When they get there, they're paid well. You'll find out that the least payable person in maybe Saudi Arabia or Qatar, like if you get to Qatar, you'll realize someone who's being paid low is paid maybe not less than 50,000 shillings. So it's 50,000, 6,000, 60,000 and above. That is Kenyan money, which is a good money. When you come back to the country, a person who's paid such kind of cash is someone who's doing a collar job, MCA. Someone who's doing a white collar job is a person who may be able to secure that kind of a salary. Are you getting the point? And now it has become something that is very very challenging. So someone who is a dropout, someone who doesn't know anything, who does not have any certificate, is evacuating the country to Qatar to be paid the money, the salary that an MCA in Kenya is being paid. Even if it's you, you'll do what? You'll go.
So, like mainly, do you think, like for example, a lot of Africans are outside,
Yeah,
from
sure.
Nigeria, from Ghana, from South Africa, from Ethiopia, Eritrea. A lot of them are outside Africa
Very
in
true.
search of greener pasture.
Yeah.
Do you think Africa, we are not good in creating jobs, or it's just our leaders are not doing the right thing? What do you think is the main problem of Africa? Like we just cannot continue. Like for example, I was reading something, and it's being said that like for example the companies that are in Africa, most of the companies that render services like security services, hotels, the big ones, and delivery services, the Ubers, they are not locally. We consume products that are not ours, but the products that we produce as Africans, we don't consume them. Like for example, in Africa we have, maybe for example, let's take example of Kenya. We produce corn, maize, and when we produce maize, you see that we don't consume it. It is being transported, but we consume things that are not ours. For example, if I was watching Tupi L.O. Lumumba, I think I was with you.
Sure.
For example, he was saying, and it's true, when you want chicken, there is maybe Kentucky chicken, there is this, this company of chicken, it's the major one that we consume. When you want to use Uber and Bolt and everything, it's not locally, it's from states. When you want to consume like the Swiss company or G4S, it's not African, it's not something made for Africa. So, and he was terming it as it's part of neo-colonization. We are being colonized now, not by force, not by caning and slavery and everything, but we are being colonized through these stuffs. When you want to maybe to buy a book is being manufactured by company from outside. When you want milk, your milk is coming from and believe it or not, in Africa we have cows, goats, and camels. We can produce milk, but the milk we are consuming is not for our own. So the problem is, why are we behind? Why do we keep on circling in the mind of the colonization, of the colonists?
The problem is not the people. The problem isn't actually the people in the country, or maybe the people, the citizens of Africa. Okay? And if you you have studied very well, and maybe if you have been actually following back to back very well, you're going to realize that the problem is not with the people. The problem isn't with the citizens. Okay?
People are the citizens.
Yeah, the citizens of a country in Africa, or maybe the Africans. The problem is not with the Africans, the people. Okay? The problem is actually with the leaders that we are having right now. Let me talk about the colonization. You've spoken about the Kentucky chicken. It's not an African company. You've spoken about the G4S. It's not an African company. You've spoken about a lot of things. The Swiss airlines. You've spoken about a lot of things. And everything that you've mentioned actually is not It's not African. Okay. But Africans are the ones using it, and even at large. You're getting the point. You're talking about neo-colonization, and I would say the white people, the whites that colonized Africa, they left physically, but their system and their rule is still working in Africa. Yes, they left. They went to their countries, but physically. They left. We saw them going, but they never actually left. Are you getting the point? Yes, they left our continent. They went back to their countries physically, but we are still living under them without knowing. Now, the citizens, it is the time that we have now started opening our eyes. But let me ask you a very simple questions. For how long have been these people actually manipulating us? Because a country like Kenya, we got independence in the year 1963. The British people, they left our country. But can I ask a very simple question?
Yeah.
You know your country.
Ask.
Those people left physically
Mhm.
in the year 1963. We got the independence, but their rule has been working here in Kenya since the year 1963 up to date.
Mhm.
But we have been living under their rules, under their directions, under their system since that year up to date. We've been declaring ourselves at 53 years of independence. Okay? Independent, we see the independence of Mao from the leaders and from the people. Deep down, that independence is not with us. Okay? And the problem is not with the system. The problem is with the leaders, because they know that we are still under the colonization.
But I see when a leader.
But if you ask any leader if it is true, no leader will admit that, because they are being directed, they are being funded, they are being given money by the whites themselves.
Do you think this system started as the colonizers, the oppressors stepped foot out of? Because when they were like, like a father. Tell us where you are watching from. Tell us where you're watching from, and we are discussing about the problem African countries are facing. Why are we still behind? Why are we not moving forward? Whenever we try to move forward, there is something that pulls us back. Do you think, like when the colonizers left, they are like a father to Africa, like a father to a Kenyan country. Now, when a father leaves a house, he will leave instructions to the bigger brother. Now, like for example, Kenya, when the British moved away from Kenya, they left instructions to the hands of Kenyatta. Okay, so whenever every leader that wants to change that, he doesn't have, he just found himself being in a cocoon somewhere closed. He cannot lift his wings.
First of all, these people, you annoy me when you're calling them like a father.
It's an example.
You're getting me very much annoyed, because
there's no much
like,
better example I can use.
Okay, these people, and if we have to refer them as maybe using that name, then the father who came after a father who came and killed the father, and then he took over the wife. You understand? But the instructions were left, because when we talk about the system, when we talk about the system, this system has not started yesterday. The things to do with system, it's not an issue that came upon the other year. Are you getting the point? It's not something that that we maybe we began experiencing it 5 years ago. It is something that has been there since the leadership of Jomo Kenyatta, the Mzee, up to date. Okay, there has been a system. Up to date, there has been a system. Are you getting the point? When Jomo Kenyatta was given a seat, who was supposed to be given a seat initially? Just a very simple question. Oginga. He was the initial person supposed to be given a seat. And those Europeans were asking him to take the seat. They were even forcing him to take the seat. But what did he say? He said, I'm not going to occupy this seat until my brother comes out of the prison. Okay? So it's not even the citizens or the Kenyans themselves who chose the leader. They left a leader they chose for living. It's just an example. They chose a leader for us before doing what? Before actually living. Okay? And when Oginga refused to occupy the seat, and they said, until my brother comes out of prison is when I'll occupy the seat, they told him, you are a fool. We are giving you a seat, and you don't want to take the seat. You will look for this seat for a very long time, you won't get it. Okay?
Yeah.
Those are words that came from the Europeans themselves before they left our country. Are you getting the point? And when Jomo Kenyatta came out of prison, he was given the seat. Okay? The instruction that he was given, nobody knows. Are you getting it? Now, Oginga Odinga never occupied that seat exactly as he was told by the Europeans. His son, who is the one of the most greatest politician in Kenya and in Africa, in particular, the guy who is actually right now running for the, he has been vying for the presidency of this country, the son of the person who refused to take the seat, and he was told, you will never occupy this seat. You look for this seat, you'll never find it. His son has been vying for the presidency for many years in this country, but he has never been given that seat.
Okay.
How many times has he been winning the elections? Many times. Are you getting the point? In the year 2007, he won. He wasn't given the seat. In the year 2017, even the Supreme Court of Kenya, nullified the elections because after all the evidences, they realized there was a rigging of elections. So all the times he has been winning the elections, he has never been given the seat. Are you getting the point? You know the reason is the reason. It's because there is a system behind, there is a system hidden that is actually doing what? Directing the leadership, that is issuing out the leadership and forcing and doing some, getting some people into the leadership. Are you getting the point? And that is when you will actually realize that these people left the country, they evacuated the country physically, but their system is still working
in Africa.
In Africa, okay? We don't know how. Most of us don't know how because most of us are just citizens. We don't know how they do these things. But I can tell you for sure, these people left physically, but their system is still working. Are you getting the point?
I'm getting the point.
So are not wanted. The people who they think these people may not concur with our rules, always pushed aside.
Let me tell you,
okay,
there's a time of president was in a African summit in South Africa.
Yeah,
William Ruto, and he stood on the podium and said that we as Africans, we are capable of running our own, running our things.
Yeah, sure.
We as Africans, we don't need to depend to,
yeah, sure,
to the